I remember when I was just getting out of high school, years ago now, I went into maintenance and construction. And that was decent, and that was really what I was ever told to do. Just get yourself a trade, and nothing wrong with trades. But there was something in me that was so much more. I knew I had so much more potential than just doing an average job. I knew that I could overcome in so many different ways. And there are a lot of people that make it big and they become contractors and this, and that's great. But for me, there was something else I wanted, because everybody has a unique thing that they're called to. And so I remember I met somebody one day who now is my wife, but she told me, before I had ever considered college, she said, "You know what, you're smart, why don't you go to college?" And guess what, I thought about it and I said, maybe that's a good idea, maybe I will go. And she was actually about to go too, and I wanted to marry her, so that kind of helped my decision. But then I went to an old lady who was like a leader in my life, kind of like an elderly mother or a grandmother. And I asked her about it. I told her that I wanted to go off to college, and she immediately looked at me and said, "You'll never finish because you don't finish things." Now, I know she had my best interests of mind because she always thought about me. She was very considerate, but this particular time, something changed. When she spoke those words, I knew more than ever I wanted to prove her wrong. And it's not so much her I'm proving wrong, because I loved the dear old lady, but it was the words that were spoken, kind of like a curse over my life, where I decided that I will not receive that. So I applied to that university, and to my delight, I was accepted. But I didn't know anything about college. I didn't really know what to expect, and I had been out of high school for 5 years by then. And so I go there, and it seemed that so many people were studying business and things like that. And so I said, well, let me just set up my degree for business. But something changed when I entered into one of my classes. There was a lady who was an awesome teacher. She became one of my mentors throughout my undergraduate, but she was a professor of history, and I had to take her class for a required credit. Now, historically, pun intended, I did not like history through middle school or high school, but something about this lady was different. When she began to speak, there was passion. She genuinely loved the topic and loved history, from ancient history to modern history. She would take us through the sands of Egypt, and she would take us swimming in the Nile River, so to speak, and we would be in the battles of the Greco-Roman world. And simply because she spoke with passion and words that created a picture. So I decided that while I was studying, I was going to get a degree in history. Now, a lot of people say history doesn't pay, but there are skills that I learned. And anyways, there was other subjects I had to do. I had to minor in several things, and I had a second bachelor's. But what happened was this. I made up in my mind one day that I don't want to be at this school forever. I'm going to finish faster, and I'm going to work harder than everybody else. And so I started doing an overload schedule. I decided I would take more credits than what you normally take during the semester, and in that case we had quarters. And I would push through my classes. I would study hard. I would forsake some of the things that other people were doing because it wasn't leading to success. They were not trying really hard, but I was determined. I lost 5 years, I thought, because it had been those 5 years since high school. So I said, I'm gonna finish this faster. And so I would get in there, I would go to a class, and so many times I would get a 4.0 because I worked hard. Look, if you want to prove them wrong or prove the negativity wrong, you must work hard. So when I was there, I would apply to scholarships too. There was various scholarships in various calibers. Some required an essay, or there were certain things you had to do or whatnot. But also, all of a sudden, I started getting scholarships. Scholarship here and a scholarship there. And then I got recognized for my high accolades. And for one of the departments I was in, I got the highest GPA award. Now, all I'm saying this for is to let you know when somebody says you will fail, prove them wrong. By the time my senior year came around, I applied to 3 different universities for a master's degree. All of them accepted me, and you know what? With my 3.95 GPA out of 4, summa cum laude status, I was accepted to Yale University, in which in 2015 I earned my master's. When they say you can't, prove them wrong. It's not enough to just come up with a rebuttal that yes I can, because talk is cheap, as they say on the streets. You have to prove them, and it might take time to prove them wrong, but at the end of the day, go back to them without any resent, without hatred, and just say, you know what, you spoke something to me that kind of hurt me at first years ago, but you know what, I thank you for it because you kindled my fire. You put fuel on a flame that was burning, and I did it. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Some of you want to start a business. Some of you want to have a startup. Some of you want to go into college. Some of you want a master's or maybe just a bachelor's, or some want a PhD. And people say, oh, you shouldn't do it, or you can't, or it's not convenient. But guess what? Success isn't convenient, but success is good. Prove them wrong. When they say you're not equipped to start a business, you don't have a degree in business. Guess what? So many people that have started million and billion-dollar businesses didn't have a degree in business, but they had a drive and they proved everybody wrong. Every time somebody speaks negativity, don't receive it as a negative thing, but receive it as though it was wood for your fire. Somebody says, oh, you'll never succeed. Take it as a big barrel of oil and put it all over the fire. Imagine that word. The bigger the negativity, the bigger the barrel of fuel they are casting on your fire. When they challenge you by saying you can't, prove them wrong. What do you aspire to be? Maybe you want to be an actor or an actress and you've never had formal training. Well, guess what? We live in an age of technology. You can study online. You can watch YouTube. You can download subscriptions and learn all the skills you could use. Gain the skills and prove them wrong. Don't let people snatch your dreams. Dream on, baby. No one's in charge for your success. You're in charge for your success, and God's in charge. And if they are not you and they're not God, then they can shut up. Are you encouraged yet? Well, encouragement is good. Motivation is good. And I love to motivate. But I want to motivate you not to an idea, but motivate you to execute. Execute on that thing. Don't say tomorrow I'll get to it. No, today I will do it. Today I will start. Today I will download that app or subscribe to that particular channel so that I can learn these skills, or subscribe to that particular channel so I can learn these skills, or do something. I'll buy a book. I'll go to the library. I will start now. Because guess what? The biggest enemy of today is tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll look into this business plan. Tomorrow, I'll work on a business template. Tomorrow, I'll apply to this college. Tomorrow, I'll request this and request that. Tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, today. But I'm tired. Well, wake up and smell the roses. This is your time. There'll be days to rest, but today's not that day. It's time to prove them wrong. Now remember, prove them wrong is not always a person or an entity or a group of people. Sometimes it's a statistic. Sometimes it's family history. Sometimes it's some other thing. Perhaps you have a family of failures. Maybe everybody else in your family failed for generations. You've heard about failure after failure after failure. But guess what? It's time for you to be that warrior and say, from this day, our family line is people of success. We will prevail. Don't blame other people for your failures. Blame yourself. But understand, you are something. I don't care how low you've fallen. I don't care how bad you failed. You are something. All it takes is a moment of time to change your thinking, to rearrange your attitude so that you can succeed. You can prove them wrong. Perhaps people from your specific background have a statistic out against you, a label, so to speak, that you are 9 times out of 10 going to be a failure. Well, guess what? You can say, I will be that one that does not fail. I will prove that statistic wrong. And if enough of you get that in your mind, then that statistic is going to go from 9 times out of 10 the person will fail if they're from this particular background, to 5 times out of 10 only, to 1 time out of 10, maybe down to never. These type of people never fail. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Cut out all excuses and prove them wrong. You can do it. You are something. I'm telling you. I'm trying to motivate you, to tell you, you have the capability. Doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter your past, doesn't matter your failures. Guess what? You need failure to succeed. Everybody that's successful has failed, and they have probably failed more than you. And I think that's the great differentiator between somebody who fails and succeeds. The one who fails a lot, they will succeed the most because they never stop moving. They never stop trying. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.